This story follows a traveler's journey to an unknown destination along the way. They face many challenges and adventures, learning more about themselves and the world around them despite the obstacles. The traveler is determined to reach their destination and discover what awaits them. I was awoken one night by a distant call, a voice calling out to me from far away. It was a voice I had never heard before, yet it was strangely familiar. I knew I had to answer the call, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I felt a sense of anticipation, but also a sense of trepidation as I prepared for the journey ahead. After receiving the call, I began to prepare for the journey ahead. I gathered all the necessary items for the road, made sure my car was in good condition, and checked the route to ensure I was taking the most efficient path. I also made sure to get plenty of rest, so I could be in the best physical and mental state for the journey. With all my preparations in place, I was ready to embark on my adventure. Enter into society. The morning of the journey was crisp and clear, and the sun shone brightly as the group set out. They were eager to begin their quest, and the anticipation of the unknown was palpable in the air. The group had been preparing for weeks, and they were finally ready to take the first steps towards their destination. The horses were strong, and the supplies were plentiful, and the group was filled with a sense of excitement. As they set off on their journey, they knew that this was the start of something great, and that the adventure ahead would be full of surprises. After a week of arduous travel, the group had finally reached their first stop, the small town, situated on the edge of a lake. Was a welcome respite from the relentless heat of the desert. The travelers were exhausted, but excited to have a few days of rest and relaxation before continuing their journey. As they settled in, they enjoyed the cool breeze coming off the lake, the delicious local cuisine, and the friendly locals. They knew that this stop was just the beginning of their incredible adventure. A fierce storm suddenly appeared on the horizon, sending the travelers into a panic. The winds howled, and the rain pelted down, making it difficult to see. Lightning lit up the sky, and thunder threatened to deafen them. The travelers had no choice but to hunker down and wait until the storm passed. They were lucky that the storm was short-lived, and soon the sun shone again, bringing with it a renewed sense of hope. The travelers trudged through the forest, their feet crunching against the snow-covered ground. As they continued their journey, they noticed the trees getting thicker and the air getting colder. Eventually, they reached the entrance of the forest, a wide clearing with a path leading further onward. With a deep breath, the travelers stepped forward, determined to reach their destination. The cold was intense, the air biting and sharp. The snow was thick, covering the ground in a blanket of white. Everywhere one looked, the snow was piled high, reflecting the light of the moon. The trees were encased in a layer of frost, and the wind howled through the night. It was a harsh and unforgiving environment, but one that was filled with beauty and mystery. The Ice Palace was a sight to behold. Its walls were made of shimmering ice, and it was surrounded by a frozen lake that sparkled in the moonlight inside. The palace was filled with intricate sculptures and artworks carved out of ice. Everything glowed with a pale blue light, and the air was filled with a chill that made it difficult to breathe. The Snow Queen sat atop a throne of ice, her eyes glittering with a mysterious power. She watched as the adventurers entered her domain, daring them to face her challenge. The Snow Queen is a mysterious figure. Shrouded in mystery, she is said to have descended from the heavens, and is a powerful being with a great deal of influence in the land of ice and snow. She is said to have a connection to the elements of winter, and can control the weather and the environment around her. She is a formidable foe, and her presence in the land is enough to strike fear in the hearts of those who cross her path. Those brave enough to challenge her must be prepared to face the consequences of their actions. The Snow Queen's challenge was a difficult one. She asked the brave adventurers to traverse the icy palace and find the magical snowflake hidden within. The adventurers had to battle icy winds and freezing temperatures, as well as overcome obstacles and puzzles set by the Snow Queen. They had to use their wits and courage to make it through the palace and find the snowflake before the Snow Queen's time limit expired. In the end, the adventurers were triumphant and found the snowflake, completing the Snow Queen's challenge. The journey to the final destination was long and treacherous, but the travelers were determined to reach their destination. After days of walking, they finally arrived at the edge of a mysterious forest, where they knew they would find the answers they sought. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they felt a strange energy that seemed to be guiding them. They soon arrived at the entrance to a hidden temple, where they knew the ritual would take place. The Solstice ritual is a time-honored tradition that has been practiced for centuries. It is a celebration of the sun's return and a way to honor the coming of a new season. During the ritual, participants gather to give thanks for the blessings of the past year and to welcome the new year with hope and joy. The ritual typically involves a bonfire, music, and dancing. Participants often bring offerings of food and drink to share with each other and to thank the gods and goddesses for their blessings. After the ritual, everyone is invited to stay and enjoy a meal together in celebration of the new season. After the solstice ritual, the group was bestowed a special gift from the gods. The gift of magic. This magical energy was said to be the source of their strength and power, and could be used to create wondrous things. The group was taught to use this power responsibly, and to use it to help those in need with this newfound power. Until wanted down into Sumi, the group was ready to embark on their final journey. Isaac, Ian, and Adele. After the gift of magic was bestowed upon them, "Now will J.Char said to me, the group of adventurers prepared for their farewell. They bid each other farewell with hugs and tears, knowing that their paths may never cross again. With heavy hearts, they began their journeys back home, each one filled with memories of the Solstice ritual and the gift of magic they had received. As the sun set on the horizon, the group of adventurers gathered their belongings and began their journey home with their hearts full of joy and their minds full of memories. They reflected on the magical experiences of the day. Though the solstice ritual was over, the gift of magic that they had been granted would stay with them forever. As they traveled back to their homes, they knew that the magical day would be remembered for years to come.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from us. We'll be bringing you more exciting stories and videos like this one. See you next time.